Hey y'all, it's Yaya here with a brief tutorial on baking bread. My husband isn't home, so I have to hold the camera myself, so sorry if it's kind of shaky and gets out of focus or whatever. But I'm gonna put the camera down in a second so that you can see what I'm doing. And excuse me because I keep looking at the thing to make sure I'm focused. But I've already proofed my yeast. I'm using active dry yeast, and that is me proofing my yeast. I got really distracted by putting the boys down for nap time while I was proofing yeast. and that's what happened. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix the ingredients. I will put up a list of the ingredients on this video here, and you guys can just follow along. I'm doing this, hold on, I'm doing this tutorial on baking bread because bread is usually a staple in households with children, especially. My boys love sandwiches, my husband loves sandwiches, and I love bread just in general. I'm a big toast eater and stuff like that. So I'm doing this tutorial on baking bread because you can save lots of money and lots of chemicals going into your system and stuff like that if you bake your own bread. And it's really easy. Like, I know a lot of people think it's hard, but it's easy. There's maybe like 15 minutes of hands-on time, an hour or two of rising, and then like 25 minutes of baking. So it's super easy, okay? And I told my grandma I would make this tutorial. I would make this tutorial, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it now while I have the energy, because as most of you know, we're expecting a little one. And I'm looking at my phone right now. My bad, y'all. I have a bad habit of that. But I'm gonna do this video while I have the energy, because this little nugget in my stomach is just completely uncooperative, because I loved pregnancy before, and this time it doesn't suck. I'm not gonna say it sucks, but it's definitely not what it was before. I got duped, okay? I got tricked this time. I thought it was gonna be good, and it's all right, but it ain't all that, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up the ingredients. Just give me okay. Here is what I mixed. This is the dry ingredients. Okay, and in that I have 2 3/4 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour. You can use whatever kind of flour you choose. Spelt flour is really good. Organic flour, of course. You can get bread flour at the store. I also added 2 cups of wheat flour because we eat wheat bread. And we don't do, you'll rarely find a recipe that does all wheat flour because it makes a really tough bread. I also added a tablespoon of salt. Sea salt is what we use, or kosher salt, or pink salt. But you can use table salt, whatever kind of salt you have on hand. It's no big deal. I also added 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, just regular brown sugar. You can use whatever kind of sugar you have. We ran out of honey. Usually I use honey for our bread to make that honey wheat that you like to get at the store. And that was that as far as the dry ingredients. So you have flour, sugar, and salt. And that's the dry ingredients. And now we add the wet ingredients. I have 2 tablespoons of just regular vegetable oil. You can use olive oil, which is what I normally use. You can use canola oil or whatever kind of oil you like. But what I have right now is vegetable oil, so that's what I'm using. And a cup of milk. I'm using almond milk. Use whatever kind of milk you have. It's no big deal. My yeast catastrophe. Okay, my yeast catastrophe. And how you proof yeast. Supposed to let it sit for 10 minutes. I let mine sit for like 20 minutes, and that's what happened. Maybe even 30 minutes. And that's what happened, is it became a science experiment on my kitchen counter. But it's all good because it's still going to be delicious bread. Okay, so hold on, let me show you. This is everything in the bowl. And yes, I will clean off my kitchen counter, don't worry. This is everything in the bowl together. So, you have all your stuff in a bowl. Excuse me for walking off camera, I had to get a fork. You mix it up by hand or with a fork. If you're going to use your hands, make sure you're using clean hands, of course, people. Okay. You can also do this in a stand mixer. I have not been blessed with a wonderful KitchenAid stand mixer yet, but for anyone who would like to bless me with a KitchenAid stand mixer, I will love you forever. That is like the only thing on my baby shower list. Well, it's not now, because now I know that I want a KitchenAid stand mixer. I would like the Food Saver vacuum sealer, a Vitamix blender. I know I have expensive taste, don't I? A Vitamix blender. And I think that's it. Oh, and a double stroller. And that's it. That's all that's on. I don't want a bouncer. I don't want swings. I don't want any of that stuff. I don't need a crib. Just kitchen supplies, because I will now have a bigger family to cook for. So, okay. You got your bread dough all mixed up together, and you pretty much just mix it up until it comes together. And then I'm going to show you guys this on camera in just a second, okay? Because I have way more flour than I have liquid, but that's fine. Okay, because I'll just use the extra flour to keep this dough from sticking. And what I can do for liquid is keep a little bowl. As a matter of fact, I'll use milk so it'll be a bit richer. A little bowl of milk. And this is how your hands look when you're kneading dough, okay? They'll eventually clean themselves off, but this is it. So, whatever. So this is your dough. And you knead it. Knead and knead. And this is the part that I think people find intimidating, is the kneading of the dough. But my secret, which I'm not using today, so no, nothing is going on, but the best time, in my opinion, okay, to make bread is when your husband has pissed you off. Because this dough kneading thing is extremely stress relieving. And I'm gonna see, I don't want to put the camera, because it's my husband's camera and he is very very protective of his little baby. I don't want to put it on the counter, because then it'll get flour and and milk and stuff on the lens. But pretty much kneading, and this is becoming more of a conversation. I might need some friends to talk to. But this is more of a conversation than a tutorial. You just knead and knead and knead. You pick the dough up, you stick your thumbs in it, fold it over on itself. And yes, this movement that's going on now, that's what kneading looks like. It is very therapeutic. Especially when you're home with your little ones all day and your nerves go to getting bad. Yes, baking bread. This is what stay-at-home moms do to stop themselves from losing it. So, you knead your dough for about 10 minutes. And I'm not going to subject you guys to my bored rants while I'm doing this. But I will show you what a good dough looks like. And I keep extra flour and extra milk or water or whatever you're gonna use to moisten your dough, so that you get a good consistency dough. Keep it right by you. You flour your surface that you're kneading on really good. For me, it's this bamboo cutting board, which is my friend when I'm baking bread and things. And I keep it floured really good with the all-purpose flour, not with the wheat flour, because I don't want to add any more wheat flour than I really need to, because it really will make a tough bread. It's nice to say, oh, I have all wheat bread and blah 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 blah, but it's not going to be as delicious as adding a little bit of a lot of all-purpose flour. And like I said, I use the unbleached all-purpose flour. I won't tell you the brand until they're ready to pay me to endorse them, but you can find it right by the regular flour in the grocery store, and it just says unbleached all-purpose flour. And okay, let me show you how the dough is coming along so far, and then I'm gonna turn off the camera, knead it a little bit more, and show you what you do after you're done kneading the dough. This is how it's coming along so far. You see, it was a big mess, and now it's like a nice lump of dough. It's soft. Hold on, you can't see. All you can see is almond milk. It's soft and squishy. Y'all should definitely message my husband and be like, man, she needs you behind the camera, because we can't see anything. But you see how the dough is, and you see my hands are getting cleaner and cleaner as the process goes along. So don't be afraid of getting your hands dirty. So I'm gonna flour my surface up a little bit more, knead my dough a little bit more, and I know you can hear my boys not taking a nap. I'm about to get them too. And I'll be back to show you what the finished dough looks like and what you do after you finish kneading your dough. Hi, I'm back, and I'm finished kneading my dough. And yes, I did get my boys and make them take a nap, as they were supposed to be doing in the first place. This is my beautiful dough baby. This is what you're looking for when you're finished kneading. And while you're kneading, I forgot to mention, when I said stick your fingers all in there and fold it and stuff, what you're doing is you're adding air to it. So if you want a nice fluffy light bread, make sure you do that a lot, and fold it over onto itself and keep going and going and going and going and going. And yes, my hands have cleaned themselves pretty much. I still have some stuff on there, but you know. But after you do that, I use the bowl that I mixed everything in the first place, and just tap out all the old, well, not old, but tap out the flour that was in there. Usually everything comes out, so it's not like buku flour left or nothing. It's just some flour, and you don't want to make an even bigger mess. As y'all see, my kitchen is a hot mess right now, but it's okay. I have a very easy dinner plan tonight that will not make a mess. So I can just wipe down my counters and clean out these dishes, and I'll be good. So your bowl that you cooked in, well, that you mixed up your dry ingredients in, excuse me, I'm like way off, okay? Y'all will get used to me in time. And you put a little bit of oil in your bowl. You grease your bowl up, okay? Slather it all around in there. Boom, boom, boom. Make sure you get all the sides. And this is a very important step. Do not skip it. You will be very upset with yourself if you skip this step. And you take your dough baby, put it in the bowl. I'm looking at myself on the screen, and I look really silly, but it's all good. And you roll your dough baby around. Make sure it gets coated in the oil. Cover your bowl with a clean kitchen towel and stick it in the oven. Do not turn the oven on. This is not, bread is not one of those recipes where you have to preheat the oven and all of that stuff. Okay, don't turn the oven on. Just stick it in the oven, let it sit in there for like an hour. Opening the oven, sticking the bread in. Let it sit. Your bread will double in size. I'll come back and show you my bread once it has doubled in size. And you'll get to see my kitchen clean. You may not even see it. Well, you will, because I'll have to show you the countertop again when I'm splitting it into loaves and shaping it and things like that. But you'll get to see my bread once it's big and double. And that's what the yeast does. It makes your bread rise. For those who don't know, I know some people are like, ma'am, we know this already. But you know, there's some women out there who have never baked bread. There's some guys out there and some teenagers and preteens out there watching this video, so y'all be nice, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much, I'm already cleaning up my counter, so excuse me for not looking at y'all. But I think that's weird when people are always looking in the camera while they're talking. Feel like I'm being stared at. But yeah, I'll be back once I have my kitchen all cleaned up, my bread all doubled up. I fed my little nugget again because I'm getting a little hungry, and I'll be back to show you guys what to do after your bread has doubled. Ta-da! Hi y'all, I'm back. I did get distracted. Y'all know it's quite easy for me. Well, distracted in this case means I took a nap. And I was trying to wait for my cameraman to get home, but he's not home yet. It's a little bit after 3. He'll be home in a bit. But my bread has risen. It's gone down a little bit because I dropped it on the counter when I took it out. But it has risen. So what you do when your bread rises like this is you punch it. Punch it down. And it'll deflate. Pull it out of your bowl. Onto your floured surface. Cutting board, countertop, clean countertop. Whatever you choose. And here I have 2 loaf pans. I have these little silicone loaf pans that I acquired along my journey. Don't know where I got them from, so don't ask. Probably, I don't know. But put a little bit of oil, tiny bit of oil, okay? And I like to take my little brush, which oh, okay, here it goes. Well, my husband's little brush, which is also silicone. You don't have to use silicone stuff, of course, but I have it. Actually, the little basting brush, the kitchen brushy thing, is better, and you can get them for like $1. But this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. So you oil your little pans, your little loaf pans, and you break your dough. After you punch it down with such ferocity, you break it into 2, and you knead them a little bit. Put your fingers in them. And when you're putting your fingers, this is how it looks. And then you knead it a tad bit. You don't want to knead it too much more. And roll it out on your floured surface. But it's pretty greasy from being in the bowl, so it shouldn't stick to anything. But you want to roll it into like a cylinder shape, which is your loaf shape, okay? Alright, I'm rolling, y'all, so that's why I'm quiet for a second. Roll it into a cylinder shape. You have your loaf. It doesn't have to be like absolutely perfect, because you're gonna let it rise again. Okay. So you put your loaf in your little pan. You kind of want to make sure you don't have cracks and stuff in it, but I'm being lazy right now. So your prettiest side, you want to put it on top. Now what some people do, which is what I'll do with this next one, this next piece, is I'm gonna just use my little rolling pin, my little skinny rolling pin I got from the Indian shop, is roll it out. Roll your little piece out, your half of dough. So you have a flat dough. And if I had my cameraman here, y'all could see me doing all this. But I don't have my cameraman here, and I don't trust my my 4-year-old like that. He's a bit too adventurous. Maybe when he's big, he can be the cameraman. And roll it. You have your flat piece here. So hold on, I'm gonna move all this so you can see, so I can move the camera a little bit. You roll it like you would a cinnamon roll, which I'll give y'all the recipe for cinnamon rolls too eventually. And you just roll it, roll it, roll it. And this side where the crease is, that's going to be on the bottom of your loaf pan, you pinch the ends like that, and you have a loaf. And that looks much better than the loaf that I just rolled. And then put it in your loaf pan. See, this is the difference. This is the loaf I just rolled, and excuse my little water pot on the back of the stove. And this is the loaf that I rolled out properly like I was supposed to. So what I'm going to do is take this one out and roll it out like I'm supposed to do. And my battery is going low on this camera, so I'm going to explain the rest to you. Now after you get your loaves rolled out and put into your pan, you cover them again with a clean kitchen rag or a clean kitchen towel, whatever, and put them back in the oven for like 30-45 minutes. Oven off, of course. And you let them rise. They're going to be about the size of the pan when you look in there and see that they've risen up. Then you put your oven on 425, 400, 425. I usually stick to 425, and let it bake for about 25 minutes. I brush the tops with butter to make it soft, some melted butter on the top of the bread while it's baking, about halfway through, to make the tops of the bread soft, because otherwise it'll be kind of crunchy. And take it out, let it rest. You know that your bread is done when you tap on the top and you can hear a hollow sound. So that's how you know that the bread is finished. And you'll smell the wonderful scent of baking bread all through your house. It's amazing. But I hope that I made it simple for you. I know I talked a lot, but that's because y'all are my friends right now. So so bear with me. Y'all are the adult time that I get right now. So I'm gonna let these breads rise, then I'm gonna turn the oven on to 425. Of course, take your towel out of the oven, it will burn your house down. Put the oven on 425, let the bread bake about 20 to 25 minutes. When you smell it, go check on it, tap the top. If you hear a hollow sound, your bread is finished. Take it out, let it rest, and slice it and enjoy it. Don't forget to brush your tops with butter so that it's soft on the top. And other than that, you're finished. That's all that there is to baking bread. It's really, really easy. It's nothing to it. You can freeze your bread once it's baked so that you'll have bread for the rest of the month or the rest of the week. You can double, triple the recipe so that you have, you know, tons and tons of loaves of bread if you have a deep freezer. If you don't have a deep freezer and you want to freeze the dough anyways, double the yeast. Put more yeast in it because your yeast will die, a lot of it, during the freezing process. So double the yeast. I learned that trying to figure out how to freeze dough. So yeah, that's it pretty much to baking bread. It's mix your flour, add your yeast, let it rise, punch it down, form your loaves, put them into your loaf pans, let it rise a little bit again, and bake it. The hardest part about it is the kneading, and if you time it perfectly, like kneading while you're aggravated, I promise you'll have the best bread ever. It'll be so nice and fluffy and soft. Yeah, that's it. That's all there is to it. You need your bread for like 10 to 15 minutes. That's like the most time consuming part of making bread. But I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I hope that your bread comes out amazing. Y'all can definitely tag us in pictures of your bread at The Inspired Life on Instagram. We're working on a Pinterest account. I haven't figured out the whole Pinterest thing yet. The Inspired Life on Facebook. And that's about it. That's about it. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and let us know how your bread turns out. Peace.